On February 9, 2004, 21-year-old Maura Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, Murray vanished after a single car crash on a remote road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. Despite extensive searches, no trace of her has ever been found, leading to theories ranging from abduction to voluntary disappearance. Shortly after midnight, Murray searched MapQuest for directions to Burlington, Vermont. During the day, she emailed professors falsely claiming a death in the family to take a week off. Around 3:30 p.m., she drove off campus in her 1996 black Saturn sedan. She was seen on a TM surveillance at 3:40 p.m., withdrawing $280 and later guying roughly $40 worth of alcohol. Sometime after 7 p.m., a local resident reported hearing a thump and saw a car against a snowbank on Route 112. A passing school bus driver, Butch Atwood, stopped at 7:43 p.m. and saw Murray walking around, cold and shivering but not bleeding. She asked him not to call the police, claiming she had already called AAA. There was no cell service in the area, and AAA confirmed no call was made. Atwood went home to call 911. Police arrived at 7:46 p.m. In that 4-minute window, Murray vanished. 22 years later, Maura Murray and her whereabouts or fate are still unknown. In 1922, an entire family was murdered on a remote farm in Germany. But what happened after is what makes this case disturbing. Before the murders, the family reported strange things. Footsteps in the snow leading toward the house, but none leaving. Sounds in the attic, a missing house key. After the crime, someone stayed on the farm. Neighbors noticed animals were still being fed. Smoke coming from the chimney. That means the killer may have lived in the house with the bodies for days. Despite investigations, no one was ever identified. And the question still stands: who was in that house? And why didn't they leave? The Zodiac Killer is one of the most famous unsolved cases in U.S. history, operating in Northern California in the late 1960s. The killer sent coded letters to newspapers, taunting police and the public. Some of those ciphers were solved. Others still haven't been. He claimed responsibility for multiple murders, though not all were confirmed. What makes this case so lasting is how close authorities seem to get. Multiple suspects, partial matches, strong theories, but never enough to prove it. The identity of the Zodiac Killer remains officially unknown, and the unsolved codes he left behind still raise one question: was he leaving clues, or just playing a game no one could win? The disappearance of 19-year-old Brandon. Swanson is one of the most puzzling missing in plain sight cases in American history. On May 14, 2008, Swanson vanished while on a 47-minute phone call with his parents after driving his car into a ditch in rural Minnesota. Despite extensive searches, his car, phone, and body were never found in the immediate vicinity. Shortly after midnight, Brandon was driving home to Marshall, Maine, from a friend's party in Canby, Maine. He took rural gravel roads to avoid police and drove his Chevrolet Lumina into a ditch near Taunton, Maine. Uninjured, he called his parents around 1:54 a.m. and asked them to pick him up. He believed he was near the town of Lindeen, which was about 25 miles from his actual location near Taunton. Brandon's parents, Brian and Annette, drove to the area Brandon described, while Brandon stayed on the phone with them for 47 minutes. They could not find each other. Brandon could not see their lights, nor they his. Frustrated, Brandon told his parents he was leaving his car and walking toward what he thought were the lights of Lind. At approximately 2:30 a.m., 47 minutes into the call, Brandon suddenly shouted, "Oh shit!" The line went dead immediately, and subsequent calls from his parents went to voicemail. Despite a long search and 18 years later, Brandon has yet to be found and remains missing.